She's delusional.
I heard she used to be a boy. Did you hear what she said on her podcast?
I'm Elissa Lorenn, and you're listening to UnFamous. Hi guys, welcome back to this week's episode of UnFamous. I am so excited to be filming with you guys today, for you guys, with you guys. You're here with me, right? We're all friends here. So it's been a minute, and I do want to I need to explain myself because I disappeared. I stopped filming. I turned 21, and I blacked out. You know, we all have that moment. We black out for a month. We've been there, done that. I'm sure you're all with me, right, guys? Please make me feel better. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, I blacked out, but, you know, a lot has happened, and I have a lot to share, and I'm excited to share because it's time to have a tea sesh. It's time to spill everything that has been going on and just fucking gossip, and I have some stuff to catch you guys up on because it has been a wild ride. A wild ride. Guys, I fucked up. I was a centimeter away from being a famous celebrity wife. God, I'm delusional. That's the point of this podcast, right? We can be delusional together, you know? That's fine. You guys just need to it's fine. I'm delusional. But, you know, I, in my head, was so close to being the next Chrissy Teigen. We need a new Chrissy Teigen. Now that Chrissy Teigen is gone, canceled, goodbye, I could have been the new one. Granted, I would have been the off-the-rack version of her. But, you know, I lost my chance. And, you know, I'm just out here living my life, hoping that one day maybe I'll be able to get this chance again. But this comes with a story, and this comes with a story that I'm very excited and very embarrassed to tell you guys. But basically, like every other bitch in the entire world, I am on Bumble. I'm on Hinge. Like we talked about in a previous episode, I tried to blackmail my way onto Raya. Didn't work out. Apparently, calling them transphobic can only get you on the wait list, not on the app. But yeah, it's okay. Again, listen, you know, you live and you learn. And let's get into it. So I'm on Bumble. I'm swiping. I'm having a good old time. And I see this guy. And I'm scrolling through his photos. And let me just set the scene of this man's profile. So he, you know, is at the end of my age cap. You know what I mean? Everyone has, you know, a spectrum of the ages that you'd like to date. And, you know, mine's pretty broad because at this point, I'm just trying to find a warm body to sleep next to me at night. Yeah. And so, God, this is miserable. I'm sorry, Mom. Like, she's probably like, who did I raise? But it's the truth, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. So I'm looking at his profile, and he looks to me like the very stereotypical douchey finance bro, and I am both disgusted and turned on all at the same time. Oh, I'm a mess. It's called childhood trauma. So I see this guy, and of course, the first photo I see is a photo that I'm sure shows up quite a bit on Bumble here in LA and probably in other places as well. And that is a man or woman sitting with a glass of champagne in one hand on a private jet. Now listen, there's no shame in the game. I get it. You know, I can only talk so much shit because I'm sure the second I get onto a private jet, I will be taking that exact same photo. But at least I know it's cringy as fuck. And you look like a douchebag. You look like an asshole. Not to mention, listen, if you are taking a photo of you on a private jet with a glass of champagne and you are uploading it to your Bumble profile, that is not something that is a part of your daily life. It's not. You probably, either if it's a girl, she sucked her way onto the jet. And if it's a man, he's borrowing his friend's jet and he was invited. And it's a once in a lifetime. I don't know. I'm making fun of him. I'm sure I would do the same thing. I know I probably will do the same thing. So whatever. I see this photo. I'm like, okay, you're a douchebag. I'm turned on. And honest thing, it says, I think that it's something to do with finance or like investor. I said like investor or some shit. So I'm like, okay, you're an investor, I say in quotation marks, because who fucking knows what that means. You have a photo of a private jet on your page. Another photo was of him on stage at a mic doing stand-up comedy. So I put those three things together, and I am like, you are a typical douchey, rich finance bro who has never been told that you are untalented, so you get on stage and you think you're funny, and you're probably really fucking not, and you're probably cringy as fuck. And I'm like, you're exactly my type. So I see these things, and he, is towards the end of my age cap. Like I said, he's a little bit older, not crazy older. I'm not out here fucking 85-year-olds. Don't worry. I'm not, at that point just yet. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We match. We talk for a second, and I'm basically like, I can't do this. I'm like, listen, we're trying to have growth here, people. I can't keep doing this. I just set myself up for failure. I'm gonna go into this. I'm sure he'll hate crime me. I'm sure I'll end up in a ditch somewhere, or he literally will just, okay, yep, that's what happens when you live in Hollywood. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that was a car outside my window. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm either going to end up in a ditch, or he's literally just going to not stop talking about himself. And I'm a narcissist. I want to be the one talking about myself. I want to be the one thinking I'm better than you. So it was just destined for failure. But, I'm a dumb bitch, and I just don't take red flags as anything. So we're talking, things kind of fizzle out. I'm like, maybe let's try and, be better. Let's try and set yourself up for success, Elissa. But of course, that only lasts until the next time I'm drunk. And that just so happened to be on the week of my birthday. I was going out to dinner with my friend and her boyfriend, and we're at my apartment before dinner, pre-gaming a little bit, sipping on some red wine. And of course, I'm a dumb bitch. I'm clumsy. I am just a mess at all times, and also a drunk bitch at this point. And I spill red wine on myself. And I'm just setting the scene for you guys here. I know I'm kind of jumping around. You guys are like, okay, that's ADD. So I spill red wine on myself, and I was wearing this white shirt dress, little brown leather bustier. We were going to a very casual, cute restaurant in West Hollywood. And I will emphasize the fact that it is casual, cute. Casual, cute. So at this point, I'm drunk, and I spill on myself, and I go into my room, I go into my closet, and I'm like, what am I going to change into? Or needing to head out the door. And I make the decision to put on one of the two dresses I had bought for my birthday. Now, the dress that I decide to wear is a black sequin dress. Yes, let me repeat this. Black sequin dress. I put this on, and I look like I am Honey Boo Boo walking on the stage of Toddlers and Tiara. I'm going to a very not that type of restaurant. Not that I think maybe any restaurant should be a black sequin dress restaurant, but I again seemed to be a trashy whore and thought that was a good idea. It's my birth week. So we go to this restaurant, and on the way, when you're drunk and you're with your like best friend and she's with her boyfriend and you're just kind of third wheeling and you're like, wow, I'm lonely. I'm lonely. So I'm like, you know what? Let me be a whore and just send this guy a text message. So I text Private Jet Man and I say, hey, I'm going out to dinner with my friend and her boyfriend. You should come. You should come to dinner. And he says, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm down. And I'm like, oh, you know that feeling, right? When you like send that text and you're like, oh, he'll probably say no. Like this probably shouldn't happen anyways. And then they say yes. And you're like, oh, whoa, I was not expecting this. Like now I've got to be a normal human being. Like I'm drunk at this point. I'm in a sequin dress. The last thing I'm wanting to do is meet some older gentleman for the very first time and like have to be cute and sweet and like pretend that I'm a normal human being and that I'm not a dumpster ass bitch. So he says he's coming. We go to dinner. We order a few drinks. He was like, I'm running late, but I'll like meet you guys there. And I'm just downing the margaritas. I'm downing the fucking margaritas because that's exactly what someone needs to be able to be ready to make a great first impression, right? Yeah, red wine and margaritas and tequila. So you guys already know where this is going, but he shows up, he comes in, he says hello, gives me a hug, sits down next to me, and we just start talking. And mind you, I'm going into this being like judgy as fuck. And I have no shame in the fact that I'm a judgy ass bitch, but I was on one this night. I was just like, here's this finance bro, probably thinks he's better than everyone in here, thinks he's funny. He's probably not even funny. And I'm just harping on the fact that this man thinks he's funny. I'm like, oh, he's probably so fucking cringy. I can't even with this. And I'm like, I just like love comedy and I'm such like a comedy connoisseur. Bitch. You've done like 3/4 of a mic, like take several seats. You are literally a nobody. You have no place to judge. But for some reason, I have some type of complex that I think I'm just, the person who needs to put people in their place and think that I'm better than everyone else. So, and I'm sure, listen, I'm well aware of the fact that I'm sure that stems from all sorts of things. Like I said, childhood trauma. Anyway, so, we're talking and I'm not being a bitch per se, but like I'm being a bitch. You know what I mean? Like we've all been there. I'm saying that to try and make myself feel better. I'm sure everyone's like, no, bitch, we have not been there. Like you are just a cunt. So we're talking and I'm just like, oh yeah, you do comedy? Like what kind of mics do you do? Where do you perform? And he's just like not having my questions. And he's just like kind of, in my head, I'm like, he's living up to the expectations of every douchey finance bro. He's sitting there telling me that, he can't drink because he has to wake up early at 5 a.m. because he has a session with his trainer at his house. And I'm just like, oh, fuck you. In reality, it's like, oh no, Elissa, he just has his life together and has priorities. But, like I said, I am a trash human being. So he's going off on whatever shit he's talking about. I'm just wasted. I'm surely making a fool of myself. And he's like, oh yeah, my assistant, I had to Uber here because my assistant was driving my car. And I'm just like having a ball with this. I'm like, oh yeah, what kind of car do you drive? And he's like, yeah, I drive a Maserati. Like, okay, cool. I'm over it. Whatever. I'm being a cunt. But like, okay, you give me some credit. You've got the private jet photo, some type of investor. You are driving a Maserati and you're bringing up the fact that you're driving a Maserati. Because like, let's be real. There's no reason that you're telling me that your assistant is driving your car other than the fact that you're asking me to ask you questions about the fact, well, why do you have an assistant? Oh, what kind of car do you drive? And whatever. So I'm just like, annoyed. I'm obviously annoyed, but I'm like, also, he's being so sweet. Like, I'm so a cunt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there judging the fuck out of him, and he is literally just being a normal human being, other than like some things that are just kind of like a little cringy, but also we live in LA, and like that's what you get when you live in LA. So we're talking, I get wasted, and I remember at one point being like, I'm so over making this small talk with him, so I'm just gonna try and kiss him. Because that's, you know, what normal people do. You're like, oh, I'm not a fan of this guy. Now let me, you know, jump on his dick. So I do that. I do that in the middle of this West Hollywood restaurant with everyone watching. I lean over and I try and make out with him because I'm a dumb idiot. And what does he do? Yep, just as you would expect, he pulls away. He pulls away. Because that is really embarrassing. And he's a older gentleman, and he's probably like, oh my God, here's this trashy 21-year-old, looks like Honey Boo Boo in a black sequin dress, being an absolute menace to society. And he's like, not here, not right now. And I'm just like, I'm mortified. I am mortified. This is quite embarrassing. This is humiliating. So I just decide to make a conversation with my friend and her boyfriend, and I'm like, let's bring this to the group because I've now fucked myself over in many ways. So we continue talking, and the night continues. It's just, you know, listen, he was a nice guy, and, you know, whatever. So check comes, we pay the bill. I will also say that. Not that I know it's like 2020. Oh, that was like, I don't know what that was. It's 2021. And feminism is real. So I guess, you know, I had to pay the check. Not all of it. We like all split it, I think. Which is fine. It is what it is. I won't complain. And as he shouldn't. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he did come halfway through the dinner, although he did order himself a meal, but whatever. Look at me being so like butthurt about it. Like, I had to pay part of the check. Like, whatever. Ugh. I'm a brat. As if you guys couldn't tell already, I am an entitled brat. So whatever, check comes. Well, listen, actually, no. If you have a photo of a private jet, then at least play the part. Actually, yeah, I take that back. If you're gonna front, then like at least play the part, right? I think so. Listen, I was fronting the part that I was a toddler in tiara, so I think that so should he. So he should have just paid the whole bill. He should have walked to the bathroom, given his card to the waitress, and been like, just pay for it and then bring the check. And so we would have been like, wow, he's so cool and whatever. That would have impressed me. Whatever. He pays the check. We pay the check. He turns to me and he says, I'm ordering myself an Uber. Do you want me to take you home? And I look at him and I look at my friends and I look at him and I'm like, motherfucker, I don't want to go home. Because, like I said, I'm wasted. Normally, if, you know, someone's saying, do you want me to take you home? He's probably like, let me go fuck the shit out of this bitch. But in my head, I'm like, this man wants to literally drop me off at home. It's fucking 10 p.m. Just because you have a trainer in the morning doesn't mean you need to spoil my night. No way. I'm going out drinking. So I'm like, no, I think I'm just going to hang with my friends. And he's like, all right, well, it was nice meeting you. Whatever. We hug. And he goes on his merry way. The next day, I wake up and I'm like, wow, I was kind of a dick. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, I'm being a phony bitch right now. No, what I really thought to myself was, you know, at least he's been on a private jet. Like, there's not that many suitors waiting in line. He seems to be the most the most eligible of them all. God, I'm a horrible person. I promise you. I don't just care about money. I care about looks too. So whatever. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try and make this a little bit better. I mean, he wasn't that much of a dick. You know what I mean? He was, you know, not miserable to get along with. And at that point, that's all I can ask for. If you just, don't hate crime me, I'm like, wow, we could get married, I guess. That's how low my standards are. And at least he had the private jet photo. So I send him a text message. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was so drunk. I'm sorry if my friends and I were a lot. And because he's an old man, instead of responding to my text message, he calls me immediately and tells me how he doesn't text and says, your friends were lovely. I'm going out of town this weekend, but let's get together once I'm back. And I'm like, amazing, sounds great. Just give me a call. And then I never hear from him again. Because why would I? Why would I hear from him again? No. So he never calls me back. I definitely send him another text message, just, checking in, saying, how's the jet doing? And I never get a response back. I never get a call back. I definitely get unmatched on Bumble. So, I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely gave a bad first impression. We learned from it. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'll cut my losses here. I'm really not missing out on anything. Really, it's not that big of a deal. He is probably, like I said, a douchey finance bro. There are 1 in a million, no, not 1 in a million. There are 1 million of them out here in LA. Let's move on to the next. So, next thing I know, I'm on Instagram and I go to search for him because I'm telling my friend about the whole story and how I embarrassed myself, but how he was also a douchey finance bro. And I'm like, let's see if we can find him on Instagram. And so I do. Yeah, he is the first one to pop up. And I just typed his first name. And mind you, he has a very basic first name. There's millions of this name. And he's the first one to pop up. And I see his profile photo. It's the same one from Bumble, not the private jet one. And I see that he has a blue check mark. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting a little more depressing now, definitely a little more depressing. But listen, lots of people have check marks. And, it's not that big of a deal. And then I click on his Instagram. And it turns out he's a famous comedian. Yep, he is a famous comedian with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers, world tour. My favorite fucking comedian follows him on Instagram. And I sit there and I am fucking upset because I spent the entire night looking down on the fact that he was probably a nobody comedian, all of it. I am sure that I made myself sound like I was fucking Bill Burr out here. I was like, bitch, I am Amy fucking Schumer. And he was probably like, no, you are the fucking phony here, bitch. I literally was sitting the entire dinner basically calling him a fraud. And turns out I was the fucking fraud. I was the fraud. Not to mention, let's be fucking real here, would have been fucking great for the girl that's trying to break into the comedy world to, have a fucking famous comedian boyfriend. Not that I'm a clout chaser, guys. I promise I'm not. I just am making myself sound so bad right now. I'm like, I care about money. I care about looks. He's a famous comedian. He could have given me a career. Like, okay, bitch, you're not that cool. Bring it down a notch. So, yeah, I was very, very, very upset about it. And listen, if he is out here listening to this podcast, and the very slim chances that he is, disregard everything I just said, and please, baby, come back to me. I promise I will just shut my mouth and you can just fucking rail me. I swear I'll be a good little girl for you. Wow, I sound disgusting. Yeah. And I'm sure, he did try and take me home. I will put that out there. So, and I'm sure while he was doing that, he probably was like, the only way to get this fucking phony bitch to shut her mouth is to fill it up. Yeah. So that was quite embarrassing. And, It just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, do your fucking research. See who the fuck you're going on a date. And I always do. That's what's so upsetting too, is I am always the bitch to go on Google, go on Instagram, their fucking background search every single person I come into contact with. I don't care if it's the person doing my fucking nails. I background check everybody and want to know everything about them. And the one time that I'm like, ugh, who cares? It comes to bite me in the fucking ass. And honestly, I think that that's what we call karma. It's what we call karma. And I will never get over it. And God forbid I do end up breaking into the comedy world. It will be quite humiliating to see him ever again. And let's just hope this man doesn't blacklist me, because that would actually be quite fucking funny. And I honestly would quite deserve it. So I will take it. I will take what I can get. And not to mention how small of a fucking world this is. Literally a week ago, my best friend who we were out to dinner with sends me a fucking story of her billionaire ex-boyfriend interviewing this comedian. And both of us who are still fucking fiending for these men are just like, wow, we are the ones that got the short end of the stick on this one. We fucked up. We just lost our shot at everything we have ever wanted. But, that's life. That's what we call, like I said, karma, ladies and gentlemen. And I will, gladly take it. And, at least it goes for a good story. It's a life lesson. It's God's way of saying you are an entitled bitch who thinks you are better than everyone else, and you need to take several seats because you are a nobody. And I should really take up that advice. So that happened. Not to mention, I also want to touch on this too. Did you guys see Nikita Dragun's story recently? She posted a video that absolutely made my blood boil. And that is a video of the most irrelevant social media influencer ever, Taylor fucking Caniff. And I mean, seeing this video, everyone needs to go watch it. I think that she put it up on her Instagram, but basically I'll just kind of explain what it is this man was recording Nikita Dragun walking out of a restaurant, a club, whatever, I don't know where it was, in Miami with two guys who are literally just helping her to her car. And you hear him in the background basically being like, that's a man, someone needs to tell them that that's a man. All of this shit going off about how she's a man and just being the lowest scum of the earth. And when I tell you, watching this from a trans perspective, I was so beyond disgusted. I was mortified. I was just in awe of the fact that there are people out there who think that that is not only just okay, but that they're in the right to do that and have no issue with it and don't realize the consequences of their actions. Do you know the amount of trans women that are murdered because of shit like this? Very easily could, because he then in the video as well also turns to security and tells security that's a man. You need to let them know that that's a man. That is so disgusting. Let's say in a world that those two men didn't know, right? And you know what? She has every right. A trans person has every right to, come out to a person they're with at their own pace, at their own time, because you don't know the situation. God forbid someone tells them and they have a violent reaction. Well, then she is put in so much danger, and it's every trans woman's worst fear. We've all been in situations where someone outs you and you fear for your life, and it's absolutely disgusting. There are no excuses. I don't care what your beliefs are. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to your fucking self, because all it makes you look like is insecure and fucking, you're just an asshole. You are an asshole. And like, all jokes aside, I know, you know, I like to joke about all sorts of things, and I joke that, you know, you fuck men because they have money and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, dating as a trans woman is such a hard and scary thing to navigate. And having outsiders do something as evil as just out you before you even have the chance to explain your truth or share your truth, or, you know, go about it in a way that you want to go about it. It's no one's right to out someone else. We will disclose it when we feel comfortable, safe, and ready, because you have no idea what the situation is. You have no idea. And it absolutely just made my blood boil. And to see him on Instagram Live saying he did nothing wrong, and then just pull all of these different cards out of his fucking hat. You are scum. You are an asshole. You are a lowlife, and you don't deserve to have a platform, because you are a miserable human being who is insecure with your own masculinity and fucking probably sexuality, and it is just fucking disgusting. And I hope that he gets help, because that's what he fucking needs, because what he did was absolutely disgusting. I do not care. If you don't want to fuck me, fine. If you don't want to fuck a trans girl, fine. No one is forcing you to. No one is forcing you to. But keep it to your fucking self. Keep it to yourself. There's no reason to put someone else's life in danger. It's disgusting. Whether you have, you know, all the money in the world, all the fame in the world, it doesn't change the fact as a trans woman that your life is still at danger. If anything, it just puts your life more at danger, because you have a bigger spotlight on you, and it is absolutely disgusting. And I just have no words for it. I have no words for the fact that that happened. And, you know, it really is every trans woman's worst fear. And it has happened to me many times, even recently. I mean, the amount of times in the past however many months after I even got, you know, like my vagina and all that surgery, and I thought, you know, okay, I've got my last surgery, I'm going to go into the dating world, everything's going to be different. Men are fucking trash. Sorry, I said it. I said it. You know what I mean? They just, and I'm not trying to actually put every, like, man into the same fucking, you know, whatever. Obviously, there are some amazing people out there, but the amount of times in the past 2-3 months that I've received text messages saying literally, I do not hang out with people like you. And this is from a man that I wasn't even like flirting with, that I wasn't even, or not even, well, you know what I mean? Like, there was like a little bit of a flirt going on, but it was not, first of all, it was more one-sided, if anything, from his side, and nothing to do, like, I wasn't sitting here being like, I want to fuck you, yet I'm receiving text messages saying, I'm sorry, I don't hang out with people like you. People like you. What people? Hot people? Yeah, you're right. You don't hang out with hot people because you are trash. You are trash. Sorry. Oh no, did I hurt your feelings? Oh, I'm so sorry. It just blows my mind. It really does. It just, I can't. Let alone, I mean, I'm trying to think of other fucking, oh my God. I mean, I have been just disinvited from dinner because someone has found out that I'm trans. I've received that text message that I just said. I have had someone text me saying basically they wanted to kill me because they found out I was trans. I mean, it is just disgusting. It is absolutely and utterly gross. And I'm laughing about it because honestly, it's just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling, the fact that people think that that's okay. And it's funny because so much of our like fucking, there's so many people out there that think that this isn't happening and that, you know, it's 2021 and everyone's accepted. I fucking wish, because that's not the case. It's even in a place like LA where you think like it's, oh my God, everyone's so liberal and accepting and all of this stuff. No, sweetie. There's much work to be done. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. But you know what I mean. It's what am I going to, do? It's one day at a time. Listen, we are all fighting for a cause. But speaking of the cause, I recently had a gender reveal party. No, I'm not pregnant. Guys, trust me, there's no new science. I didn't get an ovary transplant. But I have officially completed my transition in the sense that I have done basically everything. And I just finally got the paperwork back that I am legally Elissa Lorenn and female. So I decided, what better reason than to throw a party and not, besides the fact that I will take any excuse to get blackout drunk during the day. So I decided I'm going to throw this gender reveal party, and I did. And I had a moment. I got drunk with my friends. I got very drunk with my friends, actually, let me clarify. And it probably, the party started at fucking 3 p.m. I was drinking until fucking 1 a.m, just going off. It was the best time. Everyone who, came to the party were people that I loved, and it was fucking fabulous. And the next morning, I wake up, hungover as shit, just miserable, and I look at my phone, and my heart fucking drops. Because what better than to receive a text message when you are hungover that says, "Why are you going around telling everyone my boyfriend tried to fuck you? Why are you going around telling everyone that my boyfriend tried to fuck you?" Now I see this text message and I just go, fuck. Fuck my life. Because the truth of the matter is, bitch, I was fucking getting caught. And we've all been there where, like, you've been kind of going around saying what you think is, like, a funny, stupid joke. And then you get a text that's, like, a confrontation text. And your heart just fucking drops. And you're like, oh, shit. Like, what the fuck are you going to say now? Like, I can't fucking deny it. Like, yes, it happened. So I, do what every sane person would do. And I say, I plead the fifth. No, I don't. I admit to it. I'm like, listen, your boyfriend tried to fuck me. No, I get caught. I got caught because I have a big mouth. And it really made me realize, you know what? I have such a big mouth. I at least need to, put it to use. And that's why, I came out with this podcast. And so basically what happened is that one of my friends, which I will not name, I'm not trying to put her on blast. If she's hate listening to this, hey girl, hey, miss ya. Sorry. Not really. She actually is a bitch, but we'll just get into that. So I get this text message, and let me back up actually a little bit. What the situation is, this girl, basically, I was with her. Long story short, I was going around saying what I thought was a funny little party story when I had one too many glasses of wine, being like, oh, ha, 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 this girl's boyfriend got a little too drunk, and, we went back to their hotel room, and I think that he thought we were having a threesome because he started being like, getting in my face and being like, oh, you're so gorgeous, you're so beautiful, like, you're whatever. Just spent the entire night being like, you're so beautiful, all of this shit. It was like in my face, and I was like a little uncomfy. You know what I mean? I have every right to be a little uncomfy. Now let's keep that in mind. This situation stems from something that I was like in the moment a little like, ooh, girl, like whatever. And I left. She likes to say that I refused to leave, and she was trying to call me an Uber, and I wouldn't leave. No, bitch. I fucking left. You called me an Uber, and I was like, see ya. Like, this is awkward. I'm leaving. There was no multiple Ubers, and if there was, it was because they were getting canceled for whatever reason, probably because your boyfriend was, like, so drunk that he was, like, vomiting. But whatever. So that happens, and instead of being like, wow, that made me uncomfortable, I'm like, whatever, it was fucking funny. What am I gonna fucking do? Like, I like this girl was my friend. I enjoyed her boyfriend, you know what I mean? In the sense of the few times that I met him, he was nice. So I was like, whatever, I'm not trying to like be a cunt. So I turned it into a funny fucking dinner party story. Not even dinner party. It wasn't like I was going around LA, screaming from the rooftop, Blank's boyfriend tried to fuck me. No, I would have a few too many glasses of wine and I'd be like, oh my God, whatever, blah, 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 isn't that fucking hilarious? You know what I mean? Like, it was a joke. It was maybe a joke in poor taste. Listen, we've all been there. some things land, some things don't. Whatever. So that happens, and this isn't even the main point of the story. Like, the whole thing is the fact is that this was such a stupid little joke that I apologized for. I thought it was like, whatever, you know what I mean, won't happen again. I'm done with the story. We'll put it to bed. Not to mention, she took me out to dinner that same week that it happened, being like, her childhood best friend roofied him. So it's like, girl, you're the one going around saying your childhood best friend roofied him. Like, my little joke is nothing compared to the fucking federal crime that you're now, like, jokingly accusing your childhood best friend of doing. Which, trust me, she did not. So, whatever. That happens. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And this girl's going off on me. She's going off. She's calling me delusional. Which, like, bitch, maybe I am. I don't fucking know. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, like, damn, like, I feel bad, but I feel like this is, like, a little too much, you know what I mean? Like, I made a joke that he, like, was a little too flirty with me. It's not like I said he fucking Harvey Weinsteined me or, like, fucking tied me up and fucking unzipped his pants and, like, came in front of me. Like, I literally was just like, oh, he, like, was a little too flirty. Like, this really shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then I find out she starts going around to all these people calling me a fucking drug addict, which, bitch, like, literally going around saying, like, Elissa's fucking Demi Lovato on the verge of fucking doing heroin. And I'm like, okay, sweetie, listen, I am far from being a heroin addict. That's taking it to the extreme quite a bit. And I'm first of all, probably in terms of being in LA, the least, like, I mean, people are fucking snorting coke for breakfast. And I'm sitting here, like, maybe drinking a few many glasses of fucking Pinot Grigio. Like, call me Ramona Singer. Don't fucking call me Demi Lovato. Like, that's a little too much for my liking. And so she's saying that, and then she starts going off, and this is why this is connected to the fucking Nikita Dragun Taylor Caniff issue. She starts saying, do you even know what would happen if she started saying this to someone my boyfriend knows, and then my boyfriend, was confronted with it? Like, he'd be so humiliated because she's trans. Bitch, do not go there. Do not go there. I will not stand for that. No, sweetie. Your boyfriend looks like Ellen DeGeneres, so honestly, he probably was like, it's a role reversal thing, woman on man, if, I'm the man. In case anyone didn't realize. So it was too much. And was just saying, like, my boyfriend would never touch a trans woman, and neither would I. Because also, let me be clear, what I was saying was that he was being a little too flirty and maybe thought we were having a threesome. I wasn't even going around being like, oh my God, yeah, her boyfriend tried to, take me into the bathroom and just fuck me. Like, no, I was making a stupid fucking threesome joke. Like, sit down, bitch. Like, let's be fucking real here. So she starts going around saying all of this, and she's saying this to someone who's literally, like, my best friend. And I'm like, bitch, did you think this wasn't going to get back to me? Like, you're going around saying I'm in high school, but all I've done is sit here and apologize to you for making a joke in poor taste. But you're going around calling me fucking a heroin addict and a fucking tranny. Like, this is, like, I feel like maybe I should be the one that's upset here. Like, this seems just like a lot. Like, this seems like a lot, like, I'm being nailed to the cross here. Like, call me fucking Jesus Christ, because I am being a fucking martyr. I'm being a martyr here. That's the right word? I probably sound stupid. But yeah, that happens. And honestly, the girl was fucking like, have a good life. And I, at this point, I'm like, peace out, bitch. Listen, if you're gonna, there's a lot of things I can get over, but she unfollowed me on Instagram. The bitch unfollowed me on Instagram. Like, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Call me a tranny. Call me a drug addict, unfollow me on Instagram, you're dead to me. No, there's no coming back from that. I don't care if you make 50 accounts and follow me back on all of them, you're dead to me. No, in realness, it's sad. It's sad to lose a friend, but I mean, listen, the girl is not, the pinnacle of what friendship was, nor is she the pinnacle of what a good person is. I'm like, girl, you're crucifying me for saying, a poor joke in poor taste, but some of the things you've said are not too hot. So I won't even go there, but let's just say the bitch better hope I don't get famous and then cancel her. No, I listen, and the truth of the matter is we all fucking say petty shit. That's what my biggest thing about this entire thing is, when are we all gonna fucking realize that, like, everyone talks shit about one another, everyone makes stupid jokes, like, that's just part of life. Like, I truly, maybe it's a sad thing to realize, but, like, we're all adults here, like, I've never met a single person who is like not talk shit about one of their friends. Like, everyone does it. Doesn't mean you love them any less. Doesn't mean that you actually even maybe necessarily, no, you probably mean what you're saying. I don't know. But everyone finds issues with each other. That's when you love a person or when you're friends with a person, when you know a person, no one's perfect. There's going to be issues. You're going to fucking talk shit. We all talk shit. Let's normalize talking shit. Because I've gotten to a point, like, yeah, listen, I've gotten pissed in the past when a friend has, like, said something and I found out they said something behind my back. But, like, at a certain point, unless you're going around fucking saying that, I don't even fucking know, saying that I'm a fucking drug addict and that I'm a fucking tranny, you know, we can get over it. This is stupid. Everyone says, like, phony shit about each other and everyone calls people out on their shit. It's so beyond me. But yeah, that it just, you know, we all lose friends. We all go through this shit. But moral of the story is I am so glad that we are back and I'm filming these episodes and I'm just ready to continue to spill the tea. This is just the beginning, honey. This is the beginning. Just fucking wait. I have so much more tea to spill. I have so much more content coming your way. I'm very excited. I just am ready to fucking put it all out there. Because listen, I am, like I said, I am known for having diarrhea of the mouth. Diarrhea of the mouth? No, babe. Diarrhea of the mouth. I'm not that cute that it's a diarrhea of the mouth. Diarrhea of the mouth. So at least if I'm going to get myself in trouble and lose friends over talking in private, let me at least lose friends over talking in public so I can fucking, I don't know, entertain other people with it that are just more than just my friends. So anyways, guys, I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will be a new episode next Friday. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Elissa Lorenn and unfamous.podcast. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm on everything. So come find me, hang out. Let's fucking have a ball. Let's gossip together. And let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, like specific topics, or if you guys want advice on something, leave it in the comments below, or DM me. I promise it'll stay anonymous. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.